Welcome to Subaru Ecu Flash Training Part 11. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at integrating a wideband into our ROM rating data logging. We're going to take a specific look at how to set up an actual external wideband controller. In this case, we're going to be looking at an AEM wideband. This can apply to several other wideband manufacturers. Using the serial stream data output from the wideband, how we can integrate that into our actual laptop, into the Rom Raider software for data logging. I'm going to break down how to go and create an RS-232 type connector so that you're able to build that into your wideband controller and then tie that into your laptop for data logging purposes. There's a whole bunch of things to cover in here. This is very important for moving forward into doing any actual calibrating and tuning, as we're going to be covering in a future training tutorials here in the training course. Without further wait, let's jump in so we can check this out.
Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look at how to integrate a wideband air fuel reading into our data logs using Rom Raider logging software, and ultimately so we can see what the wideband air fuel is registering reading when we analyze our data in Megalog HD viewer software. So let's jump in here. I first wanted to show you what it's going to look like when we get the channel configured and set up properly in our Megalog software, and then go through all of the setup and process and details in order to get there. So first thing here, we have our three different softwares open to tune our Subaru. We have our Ecu Flash software, we have our Rom Raider logger software, and then we have our Megalog software. So we know Ecu Flash is where we read and write and calibrate and tune. We know that our Rom Raider logger software is where we capture our channels, and then the Megalog software is where we actually analyze all of the data channels that we've captured. So this process is going to go in that order of flashing and then logging and then analyzing. So let's go in here, let's do Control O. And we're going to jump into our sample data log folder in our Subaru course packet that you can download right into the training course. Now the Rom Raider log boost tuning file here, this example, let's click open, and this is going to open up on our screen. Now the reason why I'm showing this in the beginning of this video is because I want to go and just make sure very clear is why we want to log air fuel and then what we're looking for, ultimately what we want to see as a channel within our data log. So if we take a look down here, this particular sample list, or the channels list here, is a good channel logging list if you're going to be doing tuning, whether it's going to be just doing boost control tuning or fuel tuning. This channel list will work pretty well in terms of what to actually select in your Rom Raider logging software as far as checking on your channels here. Let's go back in. What we're interested in right now is going to be right down here, our fourth channel, AEM Uego Wideband AFR gasoline. We can see the baud rate 9600. This is going to be a wideband reading. Now, the factory primary sensor on a Subaru is technically a wideband because it can read past 14.7. It's going to be reading leaner and richer mixtures past stoichiometric, or 14.7 petrol gasoline air fuel equivalent, or 1.0 lambda. So in this case, we can see with the AF sensor number 1, when we select this channel in our Rom Raider logging list, this is going to be relevant to the primary sensor. But we need to go do a checksum on this primary sensor, and that's what we want to have our wideband here for. So this particular fourth channel right here is streaming into our Rom Raider logger via the serial stream output from an AEM wideband gauge. You'll find that a lot of widebands on the market have a serial stream output. AEM and all AEM widebands have this. Innovate is another brand that offers this same serial stream output. So what we're covering in here, whether you're running an AEM wideband or an Innovate wideband, you can mimic what I'm showing. The details might be slightly different if you're dealing with a different brand wideband, but the concept of what we're trying to accomplish here is going to be the same. So what we're trying to do here is bring in this particular channel. Now in this data log here, there's a boost pull that we're taking a look at here, right about in this range. We can see what that's going to look like. What we're finding here is the air fuel sensor is reading, this is the primary front oxygen sensor, is reading 11.25 air fuel. But look at the wideband. The wideband showing a different mixture of 10.7. The wideband is more accurate when we're doing our full throttle tuning, and therefore we always want to have a wideband anytime we're doing any kind of boost tuning, any kind of fuel tuning. We don't want to rely on the factory primary sensor to do much past normal part throttle idle cruise type driving. So that's why we want to integrate a wideband. We see they're different here. Now I do want to point something out. If we jump in here to the ROM that I have loaded into my vehicle right now, it's a Carberry based ROM. If we scroll our way down here, Going down here a little bit further into our ROM file, we should find, if we're looking in here into our oxygen sensor information here, it's going to be right about in this section here. We're going to find it if I keep scrolling right here. Fueling closed loop, front oxygen sensor scaling. This is going to be our milliamp from our front oxygen sensor. So this is what it's going to be outputting. The ECU then will do a direct lookup to what the air-fuel ratio is going to be here. So this is the milliamp output signal to the ECU. This is what it looks up in terms of the air-fuel registration. Now in the Carberry Rom, this particular calibration table has been extended for leaner and richer mixtures. We'll find on the traditional stock Subaru ROM file that this doesn't go much past 11.2 to 1. It does go richer and is able to register a little bit richer mixture in terms of this Carberry Rom. But we don't want to fully rely on it because as we're seeing here in this particular data log at this data.
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.